We are now being joined by Malak Matar, a renowned artist. She's joining us from Gaza. Thank you so much for joining us at this point. What is the ground situation in Gaza? Where are you currently stationed? Are you in your own home or in a bomb shelter?
So it's been the eighth day of the Israeli attack on the Gaza Strip. The situation is escalating in a way that is getting really difficult. Bombings are not stopping in different areas in the Gaza Strip. It's bombings fired from the gunboats, from the sea, from the sky, and also from the ground, targeting residential buildings, targeting infrastructure, and different buildings for the media and for commercial stores. Around 200 people have been killed so far. Over 1,000 have been injured. And the situation currently is really, really intense, especially at the time of night. As a survivor of 3 previous wars, this war is more difficult. This attack is more difficult because of the intensity, the numbers of bombings thrown, and also the targets on the residents, and also like the gases that are thrown. Like there is a smell that we hear now. Answering the second question, whether I'm at home or at shelter, we do not have any shelters in the Gaza Strip. So it's either we stay at home or we go to the streets, and even hospitals and schools get targeted and get bombed. So there's no safe place in the Gaza Strip. We're all at risk and in danger, and there is no safe place to go to.
All right, Malak. Also, when there are rockets fired from the Israeli side, do you hear warning sirens? If yes, how much time do you actually get to evacuate the area?
All right. So at the beginning of the attack, they used to, at some point, especially at residential buildings, only 3 or 4, they were warned and they were asked to evacuate, and they only had like 5 to 10 minutes, according to what residents have said. But nowadays, bombing the most dense and populated places in the Gaza Strip, like the refugee camp of Ashati, they stopped warning people. They are just bombing without any warning, without any notice of evacuation. So this is why it's getting more dangerous, because now there seems to be random targetings at residents without any alarms. And like answering the question of how many minutes or how long people take to evacuate. So it's only few minutes, and people sometimes do not make it. Some, like I heard some stories of mothers, when they evacuate, they leave their daughters and their kids inside because of the horror and terrifying moments. And there's a disabled man who was killed because he was not able to evacuate at the same time. So it's really like a very, very traumatic and very terrifying experience to be in. And sometimes when they warn people that this building is going to be bombed, they only send a smaller airstrike as a warning. So this, you can see how merciful that warnings can be.
All right. Has the global community, especially the United States, failed to support Palestine?
The first day of the attack, 9 children got killed just 2 days before the holiday, before the one of the most important holidays in the Gaza Strip and in Palestine. And when the U.S. was asked to condemn the killing of these 9 innocent children, it refused to condemn the killing of these children. And just a few days after this refusal and this shocking of not condemning, Biden has showed his full support to Israel, saying that it has the right for self-defense and that they are allowed to do what they can. So self-defense, for me as someone who's under attack, I interpret this self-defense as a eraser of my people, of me, and of my city. So in this situation, unfortunately, we do not really hope for any close or near ending for the attack. I do predict that many more people will be killed, a lot of people will be injured, and it's important to note that Gaza is under siege, under military siege, under military occupation. So we are 2 million people living in a small piece of land of 365 kilometers. So you can imagine how very dense it is, and it was already a crisis. the United Nations have listed the Gaza Strip as unlivable in 2020. So you can imagine the situation in Gaza with limitation of medicine, with limitation of electricity, with limitation of food supplies and water. 97% of the water is undrinkable. So you can imagine when all these situations in top of war, it's definitely a disaster that is going on in the Gaza Strip.
Right. Also, what will be your message to the world watching you right now?
I mean, the world has been silent for decades, and seeing the violations of human rights, and even my grandparents who've been kicked out of their homes in 1948, and the world has been silent. I'm a grandson of a refugee living under siege for so many years, not being able to move, not having proper electricity, not having human rights, living in such dire conditions of constant fear and danger. There is nothing I would tell the world, but I would just say that just take an action. And I'm not sure if this will be heard by people or heard by governments, but I do hope that the massacre will end, and it will not end unless there is an immediate and urgent goal. And as we see now, the bombings are happening while I'm speaking to you, which is happening in every interview, just a sign of the constant bombardment. So there is nothing. I would just say, the world, you have failed us for 70 years, and it will take a lifetime for me to repair. We are generations of trauma. I'm just 21 years old, and I'm surviving the fourth war in my life, and I'm not sure if I will ever survive this war. So this is my message, and yeah.
Malik, thank you so much for joining us at such a difficult time. We hope you stay safe. Thank you for your time. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.